Welcome back to Beyond the Film Podcast. I'm Meadow.
I'm Rose.
And we are your hosts. And today we are going to be talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I love this movie. This movie is so beautiful. First impressions. What was your first impression when you went to go see this movie? Did you see this movie in theaters or did you see it on a streaming service?
Oh, I probably went to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how long ago it was until I clicked on it. It was like 2018.
I was like, oh my goodness. Same with the Spider-Man Homecoming. I was like, oh my goodness. 2016, jeez.
Yeah, and rewatching, I was like, yeah, I definitely don't remember any of this. If you didn't know,
all of any of this.
My memory is like the memory of a goldfish. So like when I watch movies again, it's like I'm not for the first time, but like I have little information. And so yeah, I was watching this brand new again.
When we were first talking about starting the podcast, we took a big break from Marvel and we were just like, dang, like rewatching this whole thing is gonna be like watching it fresh for the whole time.
Brand new eyes.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
Especially watching like across the Spider-Verse. They were talking about the old Spider-Man. I was like, old Spider-Man? And there was a Spider-Man that died? When? And yeah. Oh, that's Spider-Man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get into it. So in the last episode, I did a little teaser talking about Donald Glover and how his whole relation, he was in Spider-Man Homecoming. And so the whole creation of Miles Morales was inspired by Donald Glover. He was playing a character on Community, and this character had on a Spider-Man t-shirt. And then they just, off of that, were like, let's create a Black Spider-Man character. And Miles Morales was born.
Do you know who created it?
I should have wrote that down. But it did tell me that information.
Okay, you'll put the name.
Yeah, we'll put the names up here.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty cool, though.
That is pretty cool. And so, like, his whole look and design was designed after that. Continue.
Did they give him like credit in like comics or something, or like?
I am.
Or like, did they just say it out loud?
Like it was just information compiled on the internet.
Oh. If I was Donald Glover, I'd be showboating, you know, like.
Yeah, well, they do more stuff with him. Like, he voiced him in the 3rd season of the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then he played Uncle Aaron, and then in Homecoming, and he voiced Uncle Aaron in the next movie. So not in Into, but Across the Spider-Verse.
They changed actors?
Mm-hmm. And his license plate, like I said, was UCS M01, which is Ultimate Comic Spider-Man #1, which is Aaron's first appearance in the comics.
Okay. Yeah, that was just a lot.
A lot of information.
It was just like the word. I had to like visualize it in my. Anyways.
Yeah, but you're good now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. The next thing that I want to talk about would be the reality differences between like what's going on with Miles versus the sacred timeline that we have here. So PDNY instead of NYPD.
Yeah, I wrote down like all the ones that I've noticed with that stuff.
Okay, you'll have to tell me which other ones you noticed off of my list. Spider-Man, he's blonde with blue eyes, and I'm like, okay, is this a play at is this supposed to be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? Like, if you
is Tobey blonde?
He's not as blonde as this Spider-Man, but I would say that he would be like a dirty blonde, and he has blue eyes.
Okay.
And then so what also makes me say that is because Peter B. Parker, he is the Amazing Spider-Man, so we can already yeah. You didn't see that when he was like, oh, you know, I'm from whatever, and they showed his comics, The Amazing Spider-Man, and
oh no, I was focusing on like I was focusing on like the imagery and everything.
Man, I love the animation style of this.
But I feel like this is also good. That's why I like that there's 2 of us. Especially like that's why last time I was like that you were doing this, because I would have never noticed that.
Okay. And then Chance the Rapper. Do you know who Chance the Rapper is?
I did.
Okay, great. Chance the Rapper, he rocks a 4 instead of a 3 on his hat. He usually has a...
I didn't see him at all.
Yeah, they showed his poster. for one of his albums.
Oh, I did see him.
Yes, you did.
But I was just like,
right.
What are you doing here?
Right. That was the significance.
Okay.
The 4 on his hat instead of a 3.
Okay.
He's known for having that 3. And then it's Coca Soda instead of Coca-Cola. And then there's this movie called Bridesmaids. Do you know that movie?
Yeah.
It's called Baby Show. No, Baby Shower. Yeah, did you see that? Okay, good. And then Peekaboo and not Snapchat.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Red X and not FedEx. Did you see any more?
I think I only wrote down like 3 or 4. I think you got. If I can turn the page.
Turn that page.
I think you got all of them yet. Peekaboo. Oh, I saw Stephen Curry.
Really?
Yes. But he was with Red X.
Really?
He was He was on he was on that poster.
Oh, I didn't see that.
But I can't tell you anything special about him. I was just like, why is Golden Boy Stephen Curry invited by Red X? That's what I wrote down.
That's funny.
I believe that's. I feel like most of them were in like that New York scene.
Yeah, when they were.
Oh, T-Mobile.
Is it a T-Mobile?
Yeah, when his phone wasn't working.
Yes. I noticed that, but then I didn't even write it down. Look at that.
That's all I got.
That's good.
But yeah, I noticed that. I was like, okay, interesting. Because at first I thought it was like a copyright thing. But now that you bring it up, it might be like a multiverse thing.
They're really trying to enforce that this is a different universe and like we are combining different universes, because they were very intentional when Peter B. Parker got put into Miles' reality. They showed Coca-Cola, and then as soon as he was in Miles' reality, so they showed Coca. What is it called?
Coca Soda.
Coca Soda. Yes. Okay. Next, spider similarities. Okay. So, firstly, drilling that whole anxiety around expectations. Every Spider-Man has that whole situation where they're just like, oh my goodness, great expectations, great responsibilities, yada, yada, yada. And they had a book in class that was called Great Expectations. And then they had to write a paper. And then his art graffiti that he did with Uncle Aaron. It said it was expectations big, and then I noticed up at the top it said great small. So it says Great Expectations with him as the outline. I was like, wow.
I don't know why I never read that.
Bro, I really didn't either.
I was looking, I was like, wow, this is great art.
Oh my goodness. Bro, that is you beating me. I'm just like, wow. Like, so beautiful. I'm just like, yeah. Next. These words have no. I don't even know if these are words. This is just art.
These are just letters put together.
Like it's just symbols. Like it's
what, bro? This whole podcast is gonna be me being like, really? That happened? Oh, and I was thinking about recreating that piece too. It never read it. Because
I don't even know how to begin. I don't even know what to say. Is this a different language?
Right, like
it's not something for me to read. It's for me to view and move on.
That's what art is.
Appreciate and move on. Secondly, he gets bit in the hand. I feel like that was kind of significant because if his Peter in his reality is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man Peter, Tobey Maguire got bit in the hand because Andrew Garfield got bit in the neck.
Yes, that's the only one I remember.
But Tobey got bit in the hand. Miles got bit in the hand. And then he's personable, but he doesn't have a lot of friends at school. And we'll talk more about that whole situation.
Yeah, he has like
a little bit later.
Community friends.
And then he's closer with his uncle than he is his dad. The other two don't really have a choice, but still that's a similarity. He's smart but not a genius, and I feel like he is similar to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in this way,
where it's not like pushed down your throat.
It's just like, this is a smart kid. They're doing things because with Andrew Garfield, like he's doing this and the third,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
figuring out equation, he's going crazy.
Tom's
with
at
it.
a smart school.
Right, like, and you know, Tom's doing all the things like with the with Iron Man, and we already know and have that established that Iron Man is a genius. So if he's entrusting his stuff, this kid's got to be a genius too. And then lastly, had that sticky touch that's hard to control. I feel like that's always that was very enforced with like
especially with him.
Yeah, well, not just him, but Andrew Garfield. You know, he ripped that lady's shirt off. He ripped the pole, hitting the people.
I mean, yeah, I feel like Miles though was longer. Like he had more. Actually, how long was this? Now that I'm saying
this movie was short. This movie was like an hour. And
no, I mean like the sequence.
So it
because it feels like
he was running outside and then he got stuck to the wall. He's like, oh my goodness, no. Before he had Gwen. Gwen was the first time the sticky stuff happened.
Like this is giving like one day.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a day.
That is a heck of a day.
I feel
like yeah, he had the stickiness. No, there was two different instances because it was stickiness. His hair got shaved, and then they're running.
Yeah. I just in my brain, I was like, okay, this is like when you watch something, you think it's like, oh, this is like a week-long path,
right?
When it's really happening like 1 or 2 days.
I should look up the timeline, see like how long.
Yeah, I feel like it would be real. I feel like a movie probably has done this, but I feel like it'd be like an interesting little tidbit, especially for like action movies, to be like, dang, that was a one long day at the end of it
to like symbolize like this all happened in just less than 24 hours,
which I feel like makes a lot of sense. I feel like we'd get into it later too, but like when they were putting pressure on Miles, not pressure, but like when they were like, yeah, like he's not ready, like he's not,
bro. I am so we will talk about that because I'm just like, bro. Anyway, though, yes, let's keep going. His identity, that's like something that they really push in the first time we see him. We're just like, yeah, this is not a white Spider-Man. This is a black Spider-Man. This is not just a black Spider-Man. This is an Afro-Latino.
Yes.
This is a Hispanic boy who is fluent.
Which I find
fluently Hispanic.
I find interesting for like the audience perspective, because I feel like when people think about Miles, they forget that he's he's not Afro-Latino. He's black and Latino because he's mixed.
That's Afro-Latino.
No, they're separate.
How?
Afro-Latino is like, it's how do I explain this? It's like
you have to be born in a Latin country to be
like
Afro-Latino.
You're Latino and you're the Latino, like it's like Puerto Rican, like the ancestry has like African diaspora in the Latino aspect already.
Well, yeah, how do you think they got there? By having kids with black people?
Yeah, but like having a black parent and a Latino parent is different. Like you're mixed with black and Latino. Your Latino parent isn't Afro-Latino. Do you know what I'm trying to say here?
I feel like the parents themselves aren't Afro-Latino, but they made an Afro-Latino.
This is what I've heard from the online. I feel like multiple people have different perspective, but what I've heard from them is that they're two separate categories.
Oh, okay.
That like being mixed with two, like a black and Latino parent.
Honestly, this all sounds like a scheme to separate us. It sounds like a scheme to divide us, everybody. So anyway, this man is a proud Puerto Rican nonetheless.
But anyway, my point was, he's Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Okay, anyways. My whole point of this story was that I feel like people like to forget his Latino side, like the audience like that. Like I feel like they like to focus on the fact that he's black, which I feel like, yes, that's important. Like, yes, we have a black superhero, but we also have a Latino superhero. Like, yeah, their community deserves representation too, and like they push it down your throats at the beginning. Like they make you know that he's Latino.
Like literally, they're like, yeah, you know, just there's a bunch of cultural stuff that they were putting in there, like, you know, jamming to hip hop, because not saying that it's a, you know, specific black or Hispanic, Latino thing, but just like, yeah, hip hop is its own culture. So that's something that he's a part of. You know, he has the Puerto Rican flag sticker on his suitcase.
I mean, even his mama, like, just.
Yes, I was just about to say how he acts with his mom, how he acts with his dad, you know, like stealing a bite of rice before he had to get out. Like, all of those different kinds of things.
And like off topic, I've said this before, I feel like the Black community and Latino community, we're not completely separated, but there is like tension and division there. But like our cultures are so similar. Like I don't understand why there is. Like I feel like
colorism, racism.
I mean, yeah, I understand why. But like I've always realized that our cultures are so similar, and like it's such a beautiful thing, and like we should just
I know, right?
accept each other as is.
Like, if only we could. If only.
We accept all communities here. So, yes, if you're Latino, please come stay, have a drink, have a sip. If you're Black, if you're white and not racist, if you're Asian, we don't care.
Okay. Whoever you are, as long as you bring cool vibes, love,
positivity,
come join us on the podcast.
Human rights.
All those beautiful things. Okay, so next I want to talk about like the way that his dad acts, that generic tough love Black dad trope. That's what they kind of have going on here. Especially
is he bald? Or is Uncle just bald?
Uncle's bald.
Okay.
I don't think Dad is bald.
That would just add it to it.
Like just cherry on top. No, I feel like they have to have bald dads with daughters. I feel like that's a real big thing that they do. Anyway, though, yes, especially with the way that Uncle was exposing him. He was like, yeah, Daddy used to do this back in the day. Like that was also adding to that whole thing. Oh, you and Dad not that different. Like, he's just trying to keep you on the right track. Whatever. We'll talk more about that later. And then I also thought it was quite curious that his last name is Morales instead of Davis, because his dad's last name is Davis and his mom's last name is Morales.
Because she a strong woman.
Morales.
Sorry.
I was like, also for the plot, I suppose, because we can't have just Miles Davis. He needs to be like Peter Parker. His name needs to repeat. Miles Morales. You never... Word.
Well, like Gwen Stacy.
Oh, that's true. See? But then they have Penny Parker. I feel like they just couldn't get away with it for Gwen Stacy.
Well, I think for her, that's because she's like...
Love
she's
interest. Well, she was a love interest and not like... Anyway, what were you going to say?
Oh, I just saw her as like the feminine version of Peter Parker. Like how... like a Sylvie type thing.
I feel that. I feel... I would love to touch on it again once we get into the second movie and we talk about
more characters
and also just like the guy who they flash at us at the end. I don't know what his last name is.
Couldn't even tell you his first. Oh, Miguel. So I couldn't even tell you his first name.
I didn't know if we wanted to say because I didn't remember if they said it at the end.
They did.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I don't know what Miguel's last name is. I feel like that theory would have to be tested there. But that's what I was getting off the dome when I was looking at Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Peter Parker.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the plot. So I thought that it was kind of... I thought it was a little ironic with the opening, Spider-Man talking about I am the one and only Spider-Man. Yeah. And I'm like, was this Peter being ironic or was this just irony for us? And I think it was more so just irony for us because then they do it for every single one. It's let's start at the beginning, but then they also say like let's start at the beginning again. So it's like, at some certain extent does the Peter know that someone else was telling the story? Because do you remember that when Peter B. Parker came in and he's like, okay, let's start at the beginning again? Yeah, okay.
Face just trying to understand your point. I'm like, I'm listening to like to get to where you are.
Basically, just wondering if it was irony just for us, or if they're also being ironic in the movies within the characters.
Also, I noticed like with the irony for us though, when the original Spider-Man was like, "Yeah, I'm the only one on the Spider-Man," and then it pans to like Miles. Felt like that was kind of like a
insinuation.
Foreshadowing.
Exactly. That's what I say. I was like, basically this was all foreshadowing because they show Kingpin, they show the device going crazy, and then they also flash the number 42 at us, and they bring up the number 42 a bunch. So I think that that's going to be important for later on.
So yeah, the only time I wrote down was when it was on the spider.
They show it to us then, and then they show it to us again a little bit later. So I think that it's going to be a little bit more significant. But we'll get into those questions later. So we already talked about, when he first appears, that whole situation. He's getting ready to go to school, and he starts walking, but then he gets picked up by his dad. And once again, playing into this dad trope, how he says the phrase wrong. He was like, with great ability comes great accountability. Like, that's not even the same. Like, what are you talking about right now? But during the whole walking scene, they show that he has friends and he is very personable.
In his neighborhood, his community.
But he still becomes out of his element because he gets put into this school. So it's kind of like canon that they have that loner
isolation.
Next, we get a glimpse of Gwen.
Okay.
Wait, what do you have to say?
Now I forgot.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Before, I don't know if you have this down, but like when they were in the car scene and his dad's talking about like how he doesn't like Spider-Man, yada yada. He calls him a vigilante. I feel like that would be cool to dive into, because like, what aspect of Spider-Man makes him a vigilante? Like, is it because he's not cooperating with you? Like, is that why you think he's a vigilante? Or
what is the definition of vigilante?
I don't know, because like, to me, a vigilante is like not a hero, but they're not a villain,
right?
Like, they're doing the right thing in the wrong ways. Okay, I guess if you word it that way, I feel like in the police eyes, Spider-Man is a vigilante because he's not following the law,
right? Broadly, a self-appointed doer of justice, a member of volunteer committee organized to suppress and punish crime. Whatever. Anyway, yes.
Similarly?
No, it's like summarily, like a summary.
Okay.
I don't know, but the words are anyway. So I'm just gonna say it again. A member of a volunteer committee organized to suppress and punish crime. And like I said, a doer of justice, self-appointed. And I guess
that makes sense. Okay, but then if you have that, what's the difference between a vigilante and a hero then?
Right. But people also still have problems with superheroes doing those super jobs. It's just that on that level, the police really can't do anything. Like, how much can the government really do against aliens? You need superheroes for that. However, for Spider-Man's just stopping everyday crime. They have the police to do that. And I think that the anger that comes in at Spider-Man is just
the anger.
Yes, anger that we get from Spider-Man with the police is just like a power struggle. They're just like, ugh.
But he's also stopping, like, not aliens, but like monsters and stuff that the police can't stop. Like, their Green Goblin butt is a literal goblin.
Dude, he is like a freaking gremlin, like a gargoyle style.
Yes,
I'm just
like one of those stones came to life.
Literally. But like, the stones would be a little bit smaller than him. He is
ginormous.
And I think that it's just a power struggle, because Spider-Man is helping. They already always be talking about how there's not enough police in New York to deal with all the crime or whatever, and so it's like Spider-Man's helping, and you're just upset that you're not getting credit for it.
Maybe.
Or is it like, oh, he's harassing citizens, but like these citizens are...
I feel like it's like
honestly think it's a power struggle.
I also think it's like a rule follower thing. Like, I'm following the rules, so everyone has to follow the rules. Like, you're not following rules, that makes you the bad guy,
I suppose.
Also, another like with, I don't know what we call them, but like with the Red X stuff, I feel like the villains being different is example of that as well.
Me too. I feel that same way.
We should have this podcast in Spanish.
Ahora nosotros hablamos a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Hola.
Me llamo Meadow y
Rose.
Y hoy nosotros hablamos Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Sí.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. That's the extent. Yep, exactly. So
next we get to, well, yeah, I was talking about Gwen.
Yes.
Did you need to say anything else about the police scene? Okay. So yeah, next we get a glimpse of Gwen, and it kind of, it makes us a little curious.
I was confused.
Exactly. I was like, why is she already here?
Yeah, I was like, wait, is she also in this universe?
Like, what's going on? Yeah. Literally. And so this is we get more foreshadowing with Doc Ock, because in the background of Miles and Gwen's conversation, Doc Ock is talking about, there's multiple realities that could be exactly the same, stacked on top of one of another.
Which is
Octavia.
Great. That was great, like, foreshadowing for, like, first time. This movie is great at, like, peekaboos. I don't know what you're supposed to call them.
Easter eggs?
Easter eggs. Yes.
Peekaboos. I like that. That's so cute. But yes, that was beautiful. And I feel like there's another play into the whole realities and like the MCU a little bit later. And I'll talk about that once we get to it. Next, we get to see Miles and Aaron's relationship. Okay. And so, first of all, when I saw Aunt's apartment, I was like, hey, he ain't living too bad. Like, what's so wrong with Uncle Aaron? I'm like, we get into his character.
He be doing stuff on the side.
How he got that apartment.
See, but I thought he was doing other stuff on the side. Maybe that's what he's telling his brother. That he, down and dirty, like, selling stuff down the road. Right. That's what I thought.
Right. But that's just a cover because he's doing something even worse.
Right.
And jump scare. What's worse than that?
He probably, because
so much.
Penn is rich. He's like one, at least from what we know from the Hawkeye series, he's like the richest man in New York City. So he got the bank.
He got the bank. He's not afraid, because obviously now look at what he's able to do. He was able to wreck the collider and then have it up and running in whatever time span this movie was held in.
A day.
No, it at least had to been a week.
But when is he sleeping? Like, when do we see Miles go home and go to bed?
A few times. We'll talk about it. Hold on one second. Okay, so Miles is much more comfortable being himself with Aaron, even though, his dad is trying to keep him away. And I feel like knowing Miles, he's getting closer to Aaron because his dad is trying to push him away so much.
That's like the core, like, kid and parent thing.
Yeah.
Tell me not to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. And I think that it also comes with lack of just, being open and honest with yourself about what's really going on. Because if people's just being real with their kids, man, but like they constantly show us in Marvel, no one is a perfect parent. Everyone has to go through trials and error, and their relationship does get better down the line. So that's good. Next, Aaron mentions construction work when they go down into the subway area to. He's like, oh yeah, I was down here for some construction work. And it's like,
I believed every lie that man told me. I was like, he used to work on the train tracks. That's crazy.
Because when Miles comes back down there to investigate the spider, he's,
yeah, that makes so, bro.
Yeah,
this is just Meadow's podcast. I'm just a viewer, just like y'all. Like,
you're hilarious. But then we see the number 42 spider, just like how we were flashed in the intro.
Alchemax 42 spider. That's important too,
because that's the name of the company.
Yes.
I
know things. I watched the movie.
She did. But since we get that flash of the number 42, we get a sense of who Aaron is working for. He said he's been down here for construction work, and then we see this spider putting those dots together.
Spider glitching too.
Exactly. And so that also makes me think, is this spider not from this reality? Of course. Wait. Yeah. Anyway.
We know, but anyway, it's not a spoiler because the other people are glitching too.
Right. Anyway.
You're good.
Okay. Next. Bro, he was so unfazed when the spider bit him. Like, there was literally. There was there was no nothing. Like, he was like, literally just smacked it and like, oh my goodness. Bite. Smack.
Yeah,
and done.
Especially like with all the other Spider-Mans that we've seen. Well, I feel like the only like dramatic one was Toby, because Andrews he did the same thing. Like it was on him all day until he got home.
Well, he felt it when it bit him. Because when it bit him, he was like, ow. Like, he reacted. But Miles didn't react.
Okay.
Like,
you mean like
nothing at all.
Okay.
Like, not a flinch, nothing. He was like, oh my goodness, there's a spider on me. And then when the spider bit him.
He just that boy. He just that.
Exactly. You know, he just aura points right there.
Right. 100K aura. I don't even know what that mess means, bro. I see that all the time on TikTok. I'm like. Anyways.
Goodness gracious. My iPad's falling so much. Okay. But, so the spider bite him, and then we see no reaction. Light work, literally light work, no reaction.
It's a great TikTok idea. Remember that.
I will. Okay, so he gets to his bed and he's sleeping. We do see him sleep, and then we see him sleep a couple more times. But was he sleep 4 days? Because as we can see, his
oh yeah, his roommate is like
moving around. He's on his computer. He's eating, and like I forgot to go back to rewind to see if he was changing clothes throughout the time. Because if he was changing clothes, absolutely, it would have been multiple days.
Or like the sun.
The sun was the light was changing, but I'm not for sure if this is just like like during the day. Maybe, but like maybe the light is changing during the day, like cloudy, something like that. But I think it was, so I think he was sleeping for multiple days.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. That would make sense that he would be sleeping for multiple days because it gets closer to him meeting Peter B. Parker. And that makes sense because Gwen says that
she was there for a while.
Yeah, when she got blown into this reality, she got blown a week in the past. So a week has passed.
Okay, yeah, because when he got bit by the spider, I was like, okay, with Toby and Andrew, we saw stuff happen right away. Like they see stuff happen and they're like, I need to go to bed. And then we see them go to bed and etc. etc. But with Miles, we didn't see that pre-stuff. We only saw it afterwards. So it makes sense that I feel like his pre-stuff was him sleeping for a week. So yeah, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah. So he wakes up, he's finally getting to school, but they don't address it. Like they never address time. So I thought that was weird. But anyway, so he gets dressed, he's going to school, and all of the text bubbles, the comic text bubbles of his thoughts. That's when they start
popping up.
Yep. I'm like, okay, this is, a symbol of his spidey senses coming, like beginning and like coming to fruition.
Why are my thoughts so loud?
Can they hear my thoughts too? Like with the teen angst in there too. Like it was just such a cute this is such a good movie. Wanda, obviously she is lying, and I'm like, all spider people are awkward. Like that is just the kind of thing that's in their personality, I suppose. They're awkward to some kind of extent. And she can tell that he has a spider juice. She can tell in that situation. And because he's like, we have newness in common. She's like, yeah, that's one thing. And then when his hand gets stuck to her hair, she's looking at her like, just relax. Like, please, just relax and it'll ungrip.
Didn't get any of that. Thought she was oblivious just like me.
No, she knew because like her spider senses told her to go to that school. That's what she had mentioned, and once she met him,
that's so interesting. Though,
that's what you found out.
Like their spider senses in this movie and what they do.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Interesting.
I can't wait to talk about when he finds out, and yeah, that's coming up next. That's literally coming up.
Literally.
Okay, so when he is like realizing that he is a Spider-Man, he had to not stop sticking. Like, oh, let me just go investigate. It'll just be a normal spider. Like everything will be okay. He's getting closer to Spider-Man. He's getting closer to the area, like the reaction site of, the Spider-Man burst. The tear in reality. He's getting closer to that, and he starts getting flashes of
the White Room.
Right, yes. He starts getting flashes of conversations, like further down the timeline. And he starts seeing things and hearing things. And I thought that was really interesting, that as he was getting closer to that area and closer to another spider person, he was getting connected to the timeline and being able to jump back and forth to like hear things in that moment. It was really interesting, the things that he was
things
like he was
in a different timeline, or hearing things in the future.
Hearing things in his timeline in the future.
Okay.
And yeah, that was the main thing. But before he goes down there, actually, I wanted to say, Miles was saying there can't be two Spider-Mans. You know, does that trigger the first Spider-Man to die? Like, did Peter have to die in this reality because?
Yes.
Yeah, because Miles became Spider-Man.
Tragic. I forgot balance of this the universe. Was all before he died. Yeah, I thought he already died at this point. I'm like, wait, why is he going back there? What? Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm back.
But yeah, like we said, Goblin is huge, like a gargoyle.
Ginormous.
Super crazy. And when he's fighting him, Miles gets mixed up in the mix, and they become face to face because Peter goes to save him. When they locked in with each other, I wonder if that helped Miles like re-regulate, like help Miles, honestly, not even re-regulate, but just regulate with his new powers, because his aura was like, you know, green and pink, and then once he synced up with Spider-Man, it became the classic red and blue.
Yeah, I also feel like that's foreshadowing into like that there can only be one Spider-Man.
That's what I was thinking too, because just it's tragic.
R.I.P. Blondie P.
Literally. Okay, next, when he turned the situation on, how terrifying must it have been for the citizens of New York to see life glitching and then some IRL? Like, you're walking down the street and then the light pole just starts turning into fire hydrants.
I feel like that's something like a normal brain can't compute. Like, I feel like that's something where like a person would like glitch themselves. Like, this isn't reality. Like, this is not happening right now.
Like, that would be crazy.
Also,
they would probably just have to brush it off. They're just like,
yes, I say.
Okay.
Also, in this time and like day and age, I feel like society is so unfazed by things. Like, they would just be like, oh yeah, like that turned into fire hydrant last week, but like we use the other light post. Like, it's fine.
And when like you see some people come back and talk about it, they're like, oh, I think this is a so-and-so. Like, they were looking at it like an art piece. So very interesting.
Try to rationalize stuff that they don't understand.
Exactly. That's what human nature is all about, sort of, kind of. Anyway, though, my theory is that because Green Goblin put Peter into the stream, like, that is why we're able to open it up into the Spider-Verse. Like, if there was someone else who went into the stream, like a stream of them would have opened up. But because it was a spider person that went in there, it opened up that web. And when his head goes in there, he peeps different kind of flashes. They drop an Easter egg of a baby being born. They drop an Easter egg of just like these different kinds of Spider-Mans, and like a space, like this vastness of space with spider webs all going throughout it.
Doesn't he see something bad happening, or is that just him talking about the machine too? Like, doesn't he come out like being like we have to stop this, like something?
Well, he saw Vanessa. Something? Yeah, he saw Vanessa, whose Kingpin was trying to get back. Vanessa and their child.
Richard?
And I don't know.
I think his name's Richard.
Whatever his name is, but I know her name Vanessa. But yeah, he was like, I know what you're trying to do. Like, I know you're trying to bring them back, but like, you can't do that. You know, you're just gonna rip a hole in time. Like, this is not natural order. You see how much effort you're trying to go through to make this happen. Like, just let it go, bro. But yeah, you know, Peter died. We got memorials. We got sad songs. You know, fire soundtrack.
Fire soundtrack.
Fire.
Isn't like Metro Boomin?
I don't know. But I know Post Malone's on there. I know Juice WRLD is on there.
Like producer. I think he's a producer. Because like the second one, it's like Metro Boomin for the sound. And then they're talking about he's doing the third one too.
Oh, word. Yeah. Word. But yeah, I don't know. And then we get to see Stan.
Yes, Stan's collectibles. And he was like, yeah, we were friends, you know? Which I felt like was kind of like a tidbit on like our creator Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So we
And he's like, oh, the suit always fits.
Yep. Eventually.
No returns.
Wink.
Very cutesy. Love when they put him in there.
See,
and apparently, if you paused any scene with a train in it, you could see Stan because all the animators wanted to draw Stan. I didn't try that out because I was lost in the sauce of the movie. But continue.
This is like off topic.
Okay.
But I feel like if they can put Stan like in animation, I don't understand why they stopped putting Stan in current movies.
Yeah,
like unless he requested it, like you easily could have put a poster of Stan in the background or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like the fun part of watching the Marvel movies.
Now it just feels all serious.
Now I can't look for anyone.
Like
where's Waldo?
Sadness.
Anyways.
Next.
I literally put soundtrack on these always hits.
See, look at us connecting. So he's trying to do his webs. He's like, all right, I made a promise to Spider-Man. I got this doohickey. I need the goober. I got the goober.
And the Alchemist flash drive too. So it's from. How did he get that?
That is a good question. Maybe he just was like, oh, this is a flash drive. Let me take it. Or maybe he was working there because we see Gwen working there a little bit later. And so,
well, how did she get? Hold on. What did this girl do in a week? Like,
follow her spidey senses. If her spidey senses told her to go to that school, her spidey senses also probably told her to go to that building.
How does she
intuition? A woman's intuition is crazy.
But like, how did she get in? But also, I feel like that's also a connection between Andrew Spider-Man too.
Exactly.
Gwen was working at whatever the place was called.
Exactly. And so that's why I'm like, maybe in this reality, Peter could have also had some kind of tie and connection where he was working there. Because he was still in college when he died.
That's also, if your theory is that that's Tobey Spider-Man, though, that would be different, no?
It would be different. However, I'm not for sure. Not for sure what's all mixed up in there. Because, yes, he is still a student. Because when they were talking about him and his memorial, they were like, oh, college student who had...
college. I was like, he's 26.
Yes. College student who, part-time job as a photographer, survived by his wife and his auntie, all those things. But, yes, when he is trying to web around, he falls on the ground. And he hits all of those numbers. On the ground with him is number 42. And I'll show you a picture.
I don't remember the scene at all.
Do you remember him trying to web around?
No.
For the first time, he's like, oh, he climbed all the way up to the top of that building. He's like, I am not doing this. And climb all the way back down.
I thought this was after he met Peter B. when they went. Because didn't he only get webs after that?
Well, he didn't have webs. He thought that he was going to just have webs coming out of him automatically. Okay. And that's also why it makes me think that this is Tobey, because that's how he assumes the spider web just comes around. Yeah, because Tobey's is out of his own arm. Yeah. And that's why I was saying, yeah, but look, number 42. That picture ringing any bells?
Not really, but I know where we are now.
Okay.
A little jumble. It's been a while since I watched this movie.
But yes, we go along. We get Hobo Spider-Man. That's how Miles describes him. Peter B. Parker. He describes as the Hobo Spider-Man. We get to see a Spider-Man with powers for the first time. He has this the electrical. He shocks him. Yep. And then they drag his body around the city, and then he has this interrogation. I'm guessing the interrogation is in Aaron's apartment, because where else will he be able to tie him to a punching bag and be able to talk to him this loudly without anyone interrupting or being like, what's going on in here? And Aaron was apparently away for business. I mean, vacation, whatever, out of town.
In a few weeks or whatever.
Whatever he was talking about. Next, they have the guilt trip and they team up. So they make it to Alchemex. The whole thing that we've been talking about. And firstly, Peter's like, I gotta readjust my bias, when he's like, that's the head of lead scientist right there. He's like, all right. And then I thought it was interesting that her arms were malleable, because in the Doc Ock for Toby, the arms are mechanical. They were like made out of metal, but hers are like squishy because we can see them squish in between the doors. You remember that part?
Nope. But this scene I literally wrote down. I was like, oh, Lady Doc Ock. Like maybe I should re-examine my biases because I thought she was just gonna be like some scientist that's working for Penn. Like I didn't know she was going to be like the villain. So yeah,
look at us teaching the girls all kinds of things. Okay, but I'm also surprised that she didn't see Miles with the computer. Like even when he turned invisible and he was stealing the computer,
but she was distracted,
right? And I was like, oh, maybe it was her glasses too, because thick maybe like the side she couldn't see. I'm saying that her glasses
about people with glasses.
I'm saying that Doc Ock glasses is so thick on the side that band, like she's holding the band on the side. She's got the band on the side and she got the glass in front, but and like she can't see him out of here because like the band for her glasses is right there. But yeah, sadness. Anyway, though, we see Gwen again, like we were saying,
very shortly though too.
Yeah, just very briefly.
Like
just
why doesn't she like follow them?
I mean, she does,
but like not. She real slow.
She maybe was trying to see how this was gonna play out. She's not about to jump into their situation. She needs to sit back and analyze.
She need to lend a helping hand.
She did lend a helping hand when it was time. They didn't die. They were okay.
Oh right, right in the trees.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that. I thought she was like at the apartment.
No.
Bro, this is all coming back. Bro, don't you hate talking to camera right now? Don't you hate when you have like you do the most viral moments ever, but a camera's not rolling?
Oh.
This happened today. Thought you should know. Anyways.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, we see Gwen. She gets blown a week ahead. I was wondering, like, where did she sleep? Where did she shower? Like, how was she taking care of herself?
Right. She's resourceful, I guess.
You know.
Maybe she's showering at the school. They got showers up in there.
Maybe they
got isn't it a boarding school?
Right, they got housing.
Maybe
so
she just enrolled her
way.
Yeah. If she can get into a huge science building and an employee in like a day, she can enroll in high school.
You said like an employee? No, for real, she had the glasses.
No, it's not even. Hold on, it's middle school. They're not even high school. They're in middle school.
Wait.
They're in Miles is in middle
freshman?
School. Miles is 14. No, but they're in middle school. They say it in the beginning.
Well, I thought that he was saying like the year before he was in middle school, and now like this is his first year in freshman.
I thought they were saying he's in middle school.
No, I think that this is like he's a freshman.
Okay, because I was like, middle school? That's crazy.
And you know how we were just talking about how they kept going down with the
age? He's the youngest, 14.
Yeah, and just like,
well, not that young, because
senior, junior, sophomore, freshman.
Yeah,
that's so crazy.
Yeah, because Tom is 15.
Look at that.
Next, they're gonna be in middle school.
Right? Yeah. So, dude, the cafe of scientists were ready. Like,
right? They got the whole building waiting for them.
Spider-Man, bro. He turned the briefcase into a gun. Like they were not playing.
Which I find so interesting because I feel like most of the times when you have like secret evil science stuff going on, you don't tell everybody who's working there. Like you tell the important people, and then everyone else is oblivious. Everybody up in there knew what was going on.
Everybody in the club gets tips.
But also another thing with we know from Hawkeye, Kingpin like pays everyone off. Like he got the police under his belt. Like he got politicians, so it makes sense when we're dealing with someone like him.
You know, that makes a lot of sense that you say that too, because I was wondering when Daddy Cop shows up to Officer Davis. There we go. Officer Davis shows up to the scene at the end. He's the only police officer there. Like no one else is in the building because maybe
they told everyone but him.
Is greased.
Yeah, which I feel like
he's a do-gooder.
Plays into his character.
Yeah,
into his goody
plays
tissues.
Into why he also doesn't like Spider-Man. Like how we were saying, rule follower, just like with Gwen's dad in Andrew Garfield's. He's very strict, rule follower. They're having suit and ties at the dinner, eating branzino.
That was weird.
Like, what's going on?
You didn't bring a suit?
What?
You tell this man to bring a suit? Like,
come on now.
Not everybody's family dresses up for dinner.
Baby girl,
Insane.
What's going on here? Anyway, though, when they're learning how to swing, Miles also says, "You're pretty amazing," you know, playing at how he's the amazing Spider-Man. I was like, stop. That's so cute.
But it also is interesting if he is like the amazing Spider-Man that he doesn't have like a Gwen.
I thought
is that just a movie thing or is that a comic thing?
I thought that was interesting too. I'm not for sure. I was thinking that, you know, maybe that's why it didn't work out all the way at first. And also maybe because Gwen Yikes! Zoinks! So, just perhaps something happened with him and Gwen, and their relationship didn't work out, and that's why he has an MJ.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Maybe he's just like Doctor Strange.
In what kind of way?
Can never make it work.
Maybe, but he was trying.
He was not trying.
Not previously. I was talking about like later on.
Okay, I was like
in this movie, but yeah,
not real hard.
And then we also see a bagel hit a man. They point that out for us. I'm gonna put a little picture up here on the screen. So just remember that. So they get to Aunt May's. They can't.
Aunt May is cool.
Aunt May is cool. She is one fly Aunt May. I'm like, she's kind of a combination of Tom Holland's and Andrew Garfield's Aunt May.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the hip coolness, but like still an old lady.
Yeah, Toby's could never. She's sweet.
She was praying to Jesus. And she got
coming in here. Please the prayer.
Like, that was tragic. He did not need to do that to her. Anyway, like, he was a menace. Oh, you want to be friends with me? Bro, that is crazy. But I want to know, when did Spider-Man build this? Like, where did he have the money to build this?
He's a photographer.
Girl. And, like, not him having a whole Bruce Wayne style layer.
I feel like it's very interesting. I feel like this is, I don't know if it came up in time, but I feel like this is the first Spider-Man movie where the Daily Bugle isn't like in the bylines.
Tom's, do we get like a newspaper or anything? Because like they don't really say anything about it.
I want to say no. We just get like the school news,
and then also for Andrews, we don't really get Daily Bugle in there either. Is that where they flash?
We just get like the newspaper stuff.
So I think that it's more significant once Peter is out of high school.
Okay, but Tom's does come in the later movies.
Exactly, when he's getting closer to being out of high school. And
closer to getting out, not out. Okay.
Because once he's fully out, then, you know, that's when he has to start making money on his own.
Yeah,
when he gets the job. Who knows if Tom's will even do something like that
if they make it on the movie.
Exactly.
There's theories,
with all the stuff going on with his life. Anyway, though, so they get together. We were just talking about
how is he paying for it?
Exactly.
Yes, photographer. Or maybe Aunt May got the money.
Maybe.
Or MJ.
When did he build that?
He's 26. He had 10 years.
I suppose. That's
a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. He had a spider car in there, like all kinds of different
gadgets. But yeah, it was giving like Batman.
Yes, like the different suits. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, why the different suits? Like, when did he...
Like, with the cape, like, come on, bro. Like,
I like that, though.
Like, it was cute that
you see the cape
on me. Like, But, I'd never noticed that Spider Pig originated as a spider and was bitten by a pig.
could have fooled me.
Like, literally could have fooled me. But he was like, yeah, you know, I was a spider and I was bitten by a radioactive pig. Dude, the pig was so unhinged. It was like, it was so crazy.
I'm like, I just washed my hands. That's why they're wet.
No other reason. Right. Word. Dude, are you going to have me do the matches one? Like, matches down to my fingers just to feel something? Because I'm Noir.
No, but we can. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
That one, and then, what was the other one?
He was unhinged. Bro,
what did he do that?
His so little unhinged? Comments, because, yeah, the burning of the fingers, and then he was talking about, like, I don't remember what part, but he was like, yeah, like, you have to, like, push the emotions down, especially, like, when you're killing people and yada, yada, yada.
Bro, I was like, he's Spider-Man with a gun. Sir, bro. I'm like, bro, the 1930s must be depressing. Like, it must be crazy.
It was
Spider-Man got the blick,
another time. But, like, the stuff that you could do on television during that time, like...
that's true, too.
Things you could get away with?
Yikes.
Yoinks.
Jinkies.
Wrong movie.
Okay, but,
Oh! Fun fact! I forgot I wrote this down. Agatha voices Doc Ock.
That's so on brand for her.
Yeah, and once I like looked it up, I was like, I hear it now.
I could probably hear it.
What? Yeah, go rewatch the scene, you'll hear it. And if you didn't know, all of them should be out, hopefully, by the time this comes out. But we reviewed the Agatha All Along series on TikTok. So
Agatha's Corner.
Go check that out. Link in the description.
Yeah. Anyway, but bro, yes, like how we were talking about in the beginning, they were talking about how he's not ready. They just sat there and beat his A word for like 30 minutes. It was like, yeah, bro, he not ready.
But also, I feel like they're the number one person to know, like, he needs time. And, like, you're not even acknowledging that he hasn't had the time yet.
And, like, it's not even like, oh, this was just tough love or like reverse psychology. They genuinely film that.
Okay, which one of us is going to stay behind?
Like, come on now, really? Like, that was y'all only option. And also with Peter B. Parker, though, he was looking for any excuse to not go back to his reality. Like,
because it sucked.
Yeah, he was really trying to martyr his way out of this.
Also, though, I find it interesting that he was like chubbier, but like I feel like when he was in the suit, it had like fake abs or something on the suit.
It was like, I think it was just like those contour lines that they do with like the spider webs. Because like I think that also he could still have abs up here. It's just that bottom part is probably like a beer belly. And what's so interesting is like you can still have abdomen, defined abdomen up here, and then have like a fat pudge at the bottom. So it could be like a little combination of that, because it's not like he's not still strong, not like he didn't still have arm muscle. The pudge was really just like
that's also interesting that like a Spider-Man can gain weight, because like part of the spider abilities is like being ripped without trying.
Yeah.
So like he must have like
really been
tried.
Yeah. Must have really been trying. Literally. So he's feeling down bad. What else you gotta say? Tell me.
I just put like Penny Parker is the only Spider-Man that's a girl but not a different person. Like she's not like Gwen. Like her Peter died and so she's Spider-Man.
Well, her Peter was Green Goblin. Like in their reality, like it was just something different. Yeah, she was already going to be a Spider-Woman when they flashed him dying. It was her.
Oh, I guess I wasn't paying attention. I was like, oh, he's on the ground.
Yeah, it was him, and then like they had like the green.
But I still stand by it though, because it's still like Peter Parker had to die.
True.
In order, like for
someone else.
To but like Penny doesn't have that, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Which made me think that she's just the female version of Peter.
Interesting.
Things to keep in mind.
Because even with Peter the Pig, his name is Peter Porker.
He's still Peter. Yeah.
Okay, but continuing on. Miles, he goes to Aaron's house. You know, he's feeling sad. He's feeling down bad. Oh, you know, I wish you were here, Uncle. Be careful what you wish for, because Uncle appears. And then that makes me question, was he tracking his suspect, or was he just like
going home?
Exactly. And then when he suspects that someone is in his house, like, and then he sees the kid running away, why doesn't he think about how did my suspect that I was tracking know where I live? Like, my personal house. How would he know where I lived? And
I don't think he was, valid question. I don't think he was like thinking that because like in the spur of a moment,
right,
probably went home. Well, did he go home?
Like, because why was he going home in his predator suit?
That is not very smart.
He did go home that night, because that night he put the dots together that Uncle Aaron was Predator, because he saw him take off the mask and was like, you know, I'm gonna get it done, boss. And he got scared and he went home and he's like, can I sleep here for the night? Like, he's so sad, he's so upset.
Oh, I'm not talking about Miles.
Oh,
but like, just what you said, going home in your suit is not. Who does that?
Exactly.
I feel like Aaron just isn't the brightest of the bunch. But usually, like, not to stereotype, but usually that's how like these jobs are given to those type of people. Yeah. Like, a smart guy is just gonna like do it on his own. He's not gonna rely on someone else to pay him to do it.
Yeah. Word.
But also,
like, you know, henchman trope. But continue.
Yeah, I'll say, when I was watching and I saw like his costume, I feel like it looked very much Spider-Man-esque.
Yeah,
like, it was
I
like
noticed that too.
Alter ego type.
And I think that that's definitely on purpose, especially what's to come in the second movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really all I have for that. When we get to Spider Gang versus Kingpin Gang. Bro, like, poor Aunt May's house.
Poor May's house. Like, I literally read that too. It's like, let's take it outside, because she knew.
She's like, come on, you got to that.
I said take it outside.
She don't play around. But I love how serious the robot's face got. It was like,
time to lock in.
It's locking in time. And it's hilarious how like they let Penny suit up and boot up like how they do in the animes. Like, they let her have her intro sequence. Like, go girl. But you know, we get Miles
I feel like Penny's stuff is probably just like Tokyo. Like, her in New York is just like Tokyo. Like, it's not like,
it reminds me of like San Fran Tokyo and Big Hero 6. Like, maybe it's sort of kind of like that.
Instead of being like an alternate New York.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's her life so far in the future. So we have all this kind of technology, and she's a Japanese American person.
Yeah. Oh, she's Japanese American?
I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she is Japanese American.
Well, I don't know, maybe it's just like New York, like maybe like a little Tokyo or something.
Maybe.
Or maybe we're just stereotyping. Maybe it's just Manhattan or Brooklyn.
Like, I definitely think that it is. Yeah, it would have to like be Brooklyn or something like that, because that's where Peter's from.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that makes me think that her dad is white because her last name is Parker. But yeah.
Or maybe she's fully white and she's just animated.
No, she said that she was Japanese American and she spoke
Japanese. You just said that.
Yeah. She spoke Japanese at her entrance thing.
Really?
She's like, I forgot what she said, but I think she was like, hello, you know, like, what to do? Like, you know, just like, what's up? She said something in Japanese.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Bro,
I looked it up.
No, I mean your tablet today.
I know. It's falling all over the place. But so we get Miles versus Prowler, and he's like, you know, take off his thing. It's me. And of course Kingpin is watching. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna just shoot
didn't even give him a second to breathe.
Like, come on, bro.
He don't
play. And I think that it's also very canon that the significant uncles dies by gunshot wound.
Yeah. Wow. Dang.
So they get Miles down. They tie him down, and he in timeout. This was very, when they get back to his quarters at
Okay.
school, is very sad but necessary part of his growth. He needed to have experience those harsh feelings. And I'm like, wow, he must be going through so much. Like, he's feeling probably guilty that his uncle's dead, feeling that it could have been his fault. He's feeling sad that his uncle's dead in general. Disappointed in himself that he can't perform. He can't turn invisible on purpose. He can't do the Venom strike. Yep. Also, very cool that they came up with this name. They didn't show any sequence of them coming up with that name. But they just called it the Venom strike in this moment.
Yeah, now he's seen 2 people die in front of him.
Right, Peter Parker and his uncle.
In the span of a week.
Tragic. And then now he's also sad that he can't even talk to his dad or open the door for his dad because, once again, he's not strong enough to break out. So, like,
physically can't yet. That scene.
Look, I can see you in front of the door. Just so many emotions going on with that.
You don't have to say it back.
And just, like, also a play into their relationship and, like, different kind of Black families. Because, like, if their relationship was a little bit stronger, it wouldn't have been acceptable for him to not open the door.
Also, though, too, like, I feel like it shows the type of parents they are. Because it's only been a week. And for, like, for them to be worried, like you're not calling us, like, you're not, like, texting us or anything like that, for them to be concerned about that and not be like, okay, maybe he's just, like, busy with school, like, maybe he's got a lot going on, like, it's fine. So, like, it shows, like, these are involved parents. Like, these aren't, like, sit on the sidelines.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, I'll see you this weekend. So, even though he was staying at this school during the week, he was going to be going back home.
So, this is a tight-knit family, even if they're not, like,
even if his dad and him don't have a super close relationship, like, they're still, like, this is family.
And I feel like that plays into the community as well.
So, when Miles decides to lock in, it's time to be serious. He gets out and everything. I love the suit that he made. I love that it's, like, we can tell that it's the spray paint.
Yeah, because that's not, really, like, cute. All the way.
Yeah, that, and then also his symbol, his spider symbol. You can tell that's spray paint. And then why did it take so long for the Spider Gang to get to Alchemax? Like, what were they doing the whole day?
Planning.
Maybe.
Plotting.
You're right. All right.
Also, I will say, though, I think this is my favorite scene in the movie, like, his transformation scene.
Yes, like, seeing him come into being his full spider person, like, I love that for him. And so they get inside, and, bro, I'm like, Peter, you are so childish for talking to Mary Jane like this right now. But then I realized that, like, he thought that he was sacrificing himself. So he was like, okay, it's time to say goodbye. I'm never going to be able to say this to my Mary Jane. So, like, let me say this to a Mary Jane that I can do right now.
Also, I find this scene weird because, like, how much does she know about Peter and Spider-Man? Like, did she just know that he was Spider-Man, or, like, did he go home and, like, tell her stories at night?
No, literally.
Because like, why would you be at that function?
And, like, yeah, I'm just confused about that whole little thing. Because what I did mention about this movie at the end is that there were some plot holes, but, like, most of them weren't intentional, but some of them, like, are confusing. Like, this whole party, I knew that it was kind of just, like,
it was Penn's, like, I understand from Penn's point of view why he threw it.
Yeah.
But, like, for her to be there,
like, what is that about? And, like, did they find out all the info? Because when she was talking about the speech to him, like, she was like, oh, he was saying there always could be anyone behind the mask. Like, how often did they talk about Spider-Man? Like,
and also for Aunt May to know how much she did.
And, like,
why wouldn't MJ?
Was there a book that was like, if I die, read this and you'll know everything about me? Like,
but she knew too much too quickly. Like, she was too comfortable
with all of the stuff. Like, oh, you think you were the only one who showed up here? Like,
and how long did he stay at home?
Right.
He's 26.
Right, like, he's married and he's still in college. What's going on?
So, yeah, why is his bunker at Aunt May's?
Like, what's happening? Maybe this Aunt May knew.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. You have to say goodbye to baby girl.
Right.
Boss fight. What you got to say?
I just wrote down, as I'm staring at it, with the different peoples and stuff, I said like the pig. Have you seen Looney Tunes?
Yes.
I feel like his animation is giving like Looney Tunes because now I know why. Because we're in the big fight scene and stuff like that, and he pulls out a hammer out of nowhere.
That, and then also when he says "That's all, folks," and then Peter B. Parker's like, "Is he allowed to say that?" Kind of playing at the copyrightness. Yeah. So yeah, that was definitely a play on that. But yes, dude, their synchronized swings were so cute when they got together. I was like, oh, look at them doing their thing. But they decided to split up into good teams. Nora, Robo, and the pig made a good team, and then Gwen, Miles, and PvP.
I feel like it's like a main character
word
vibe.
But still, you know, they did a good job. But also so sad that Penny lost such a big piece of her father in the fight. Like, somebody had to lose something. Maybe one of the spider people couldn't necessarily die.
I didn't personally.
Right, because like her daddy didn't have to die twice. That's messed up.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been fine without it because she's not that big of a character for like this death to have significance in the film. I feel like.
I think that
I feel like it would have been the same without
trauma. They need to give us some kind of trauma.
But she already had trauma.
No, not talking about her. Talking about us, the movie, the viewers. Okay, like in the Spider-Man,
we already had trauma.
Listen, they usually do too. They're like, something happened with the parents, something happened with the uncle. So
Unc died.
Exactly, and now we get something happened to some parents. I don't know what to tell you, man. But I love how the stream aura changes based on who went inside of the, like, who's going home. And the colors around the stream changed. Did you see that?
I was
see the colors changing.
No, I was trying to focus so hard too. Though I was like, "Hey, they're going to different universes. Like, what's different here?" I didn't see Jack. I tried.
But like I was saying earlier, Peter B. Parker was finding any excuse not to go back. Like, he's like, no, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Right. Like, I can't go back. Like, no, like, you need to face your fears. You need to, like, because he grew so much in his time period being here. He was like, oh, do I want kids? Like, talking about all this different crazy stuff. And this is like, okay, like, you've done all this growth, now go put the work in. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Put some more.
Exactly. But I want to know
that's what good too. Remember that.
Okay, I need to write that down.
The first one.
Me neither. I'm sorry. That's what I asked you earlier, and then you didn't answer me. I was like, okay, whatever. Don't be
shy. You did?
Yes.
Girl, I don't remember that. I would have answered. I don't think I heard you. Obviously, you have to like repeat things to me.
I'm sorry.
How long have you been friends with me?
Jesus. Don't be shy.
It's not my fault. It's your fault.
You're the cunt. You're the fucking cunt bitch. Okay. So, yeah, I'm really curious as to what is making Kingpin so, like, big and strong. You know, he must be really eating all his veggies. But, like, like, his anger issues are unmatched, bro. Like,
in every universe.
Like, why is he so big like that?
I feel like when I think about it, I feel like it's just like a cartoon exaggeration.
Perhaps.
And like in the comics and stuff, I feel like he's like that. He's like this
Me too.
big rectangular being.
But like,
you just can't make him look like that in real life.
Yes. But also, like, for the sake of the Marvel universe, we saw in Hawkeye, this is like jumping crazy. He gets shot and then he gets up.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, but yes, he gets shot and then, like, you know, he gets back up again.
He's like this invincible non-super soldier. Like, he has, according to Hawkeye, he has nothing like.
Really?
Yes.
Crazy.
He's so just maybe this regular guy.
Maybe it's like
I think it's money.
Yes, because I was just about to say maybe it's like Daredevil, how he got his suit specially made to be bulletproof. Like, maybe the suits that he wears are bulletproof.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Because
I was thinking like he got the best doctors, but I think you're right.
Oh, word. That too.
We're still on the same
exactly
streamline.
We're doing great.
I would love, when you're done, I would love to dive into his character though.
Okay, word. But yeah, of course, like I was saying earlier, his dad is the only cop that shows up, and like, and of course he is terribly ill prepared for the fight ahead of him. Like, you didn't come with literally, you didn't come with no backup. Like, you didn't come prepared with the plan. If you got here and something was going down, like, what were you gonna do about it? Like, what? Get up, Spider-Man! Get up, Spider-Man! Okay, whatever, Dad.
And before this, he's thinking like Spider-Man's the op.
Exactly.
He killed my brother.
Exactly. Tragic.
Sending him to Andrew. Did I say that right? Toby, right.
But so the collider gets to shut down. You know, he throws Kingpin at the button, and it shows and it flashes through the spider webs again.
Also, how did
that aim? Like crazy.
Like that button, like not a different button.
Not a different, but like his
huge
spine like was perfectly angled to hit it and like have the right pressure. Movie magic. Spider-Man's just that guy, remember? Just like the spider bite didn't phase him. All of that whole thing.
I forgot, yeah. Put some respect on Miles' name.
Exactly. But so yes, they were flashing through the Spider-Verse and there was a chunk of spiderweb that was green. And I was like, is that the sacred timeline? Is that the MCU right there?
No.
Because why wouldn't you say no?
Because I don't think they're there yet.
What do you mean?
Because I can't say.
But like it was showing space. Like, imagine just blackness.
Beforehand, it was blue white. That's why I'm saying no.
The spider webs?
The timeline.
Okay, that's what you're saying. But I understand, but also at the same time though, like this is not going continuous with like time in a straight line.
I know, that's why I was like, maybe. I get your point, and like Marvel does think that far ahead, but I don't think they're
maybe not.
Yeah.
But just then why have only one piece be green? Like, literally, why? The spider webs are white. The whole spider web of everything was white. Why would that be green?
Maybe it's for something else.
Maybe
there is going to be a third movie.
Maybe.
But it is a good like theory.
Yeah.
And I love how we did that without spoiling anything.
Like, we're so great. But so he saves his dad. He bonds with his dad.
Right, hug.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's hugging me right now. What is like?
Oh, all right.
Love you too.
I love how he puts on a Brooklyn accent too, like a thick, heavy Brooklyn accent. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm like, right, Miles. Okay.
Well, he would recognize his voice.
I know, but I like the accent that he chose. It was funny. We get a glimpse of what's to come next. We get a cute little quote from Stan.
Yep, I wrote it down.
What's the quote? Okay. Tell us.
That person who helps others simply because it should or must be done and because it is the right thing to do is indeed without a doubt a real superhero.
Get into it. And see, that's what gives me, that reassures my confidence of like to be okay with being excited with seeing Stan. Like, oh, like maybe he was really a good person. You know, we were talking about in the you don't have any kind of confidence, you know, no kind of trust.
Nowadays, like, unless they were like on the fields, like, you know what I mean? Like, because he's that old.
That is true. Okay, but basically we kind of get a Spider-Man Returns end credit scene, and so I like that. And that was silly. We get the classic meme. The Spider-Man's pointing at each other. I like how they did that animation.
This is the first Spider-Man comic, also Earth 67.
And I'm just curious about this whole situation.
Like who made his face in that? I'm sorry. It was like elongated.
Stop talking mess about them. Animation was probably hard back then. Anyway, though, like, what's going on with Miguel? Like, I'm so ready to get into the next movie, get into more question and answer, because it's just like, Did he know about the timeline already? Like, was he already preparing to jump?
What point is this at? Like, is this before they came in? Is this
like
after?
Is this right? Is this before all of that happened? Like, what is going on?
How long is it between the first and second one?
Exactly. Well, obviously some significant amount of time
for him to like create all those devices and like get a team together.
That, and also I was saying about the growth of Miles. Like, he grew taller, like his voice was changed, like obviously went through some kind of puberty.
Great changes. Voice actor for that.
Yeah.
You can get voice changes and stuff.
Great job.
Same guy too.
Mm-hmm. And he looks more like his actor in the second movie, which I thought was really cool.
That's why I forgot why I thought people like forget Miles is Latino, because when they're like band casting him for IRL movie, they always pick like a black guy. It's like, yeah, it's great he's black, but like you need an Afro Latino. Like you need someone who has both cultures if you're gonna cast this correctly.
Yeah, and I feel like they can find someone who has that look and who is also Hispanic and like has
easily
like, Latin
you can
background.
find that if you look.
Yeah,
like people like to like
be closed-minded.
I know this popular black guy and he's cute. Like this is it. Like no, like I feel like
look for representation.
I feel like it's cooler when you have these big movies and like you give it to a new upcoming actor, like someone who's not discovered yet. Like give someone else a chance,
or just like especially when there is cultural significance to the character.
Yes,
like with the Avatar TV series, like.
Yes,
it is significant that they have Asian characters and like Native American characters.
Ooh, some of them
didn't do very well, with that, but still. Anyway, I think that this movie is yes about togetherness, community, and anyone can be a hero. What do you rate her?
Whoa, now hold on.
Oh,
oh, I want to talk about Penn.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just kidding. I feel like part of his motivation here is I feel like Penn is blinded by grief.
Absolutely.
Like whenever it's like, no, like let's give it a day. He's like, no, like we're doing it right now. Like there's no stopping.
Yeah,
anything that he's doing.
He's displacing his anger on his that he has with himself about the whole situation.
Yes.
Because like. The whole reason that they ran away because they saw him choking out Peter. They saw him choking out Spider-Man,
and then it happened again. And then like he was like this is your fault. Like you took my family away. And I wrote that down. I was like narcissism ?
You don't have to put a question mark. Erase the question mark.
Exclamation mark.
Exactly. Underline.
Because he's not taking a second to think like what
could I
do? Yeah. It's what you did, which also
no
I feel
reflecting
like,
at all.
And that scene too is part of his being blinded by grief.
Yeah, hopefully he can meditate in jail.
He's not going to jail. He owns the police.
Well, we don't know. Anyway, continue.
Also, I feel like for when this movie came out, I believe the only other comparison we have with Penn is the Defender series with Luke Cage and all those people.
I haven't seen those, but continue.
You saw some of them because we started watching them and we stopped.
We did?
Yes.
Oh. Did we get to the Kingpin part?
He's in all of them. I'm pretty sure.
But like an episode with him in there? Like did we finish
I don't know
seasons?
If you did. I did.
Oh.
Because we both actively watching them. We weren't watching them together.
Oh,
but you did watch something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes. I think I started like an episode or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not go fully into.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
But like he's like deeply in Daredevil and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like he's like the main, because they're all connected. And so he's like the main villain in like New York and whatever.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Defenders, a TV show. You're talking about like Jane and like Daredevil and like Punisher. Jessica. Exactly. Then those, yes. I finished those. Then yes, I saw him in Deadpool. Yeah, yes. Deadpool.
Daredevil. Anyways. But yeah, so I feel like when this came out, we only have that reference, but now we also have like Hawkeye reference, which is, I want to say the same guy because they use the same actor. Yes. And so we see like from that series, we see Vanessa and like I'm pretty sure, unless I'm remembering incorrectly, in those, Vanessa knows about Penn. Like, she knows about his anger issues.
No,
and what's
literally.
going on.
And like knows about like the crime and stuff. Like that's what attracted her to him. And
so like for this Vanessa to like be scared of that is very interesting. So like, does this one not know, or like did they like grow and like promise like no, like this is gonna be behind us, like we have a kid now?
I think maybe she didn't know, and that's why she had a kid with him in the first place.
And
or
that
just
was
maybe
an old kid though too. Like that's
Yeah.
not like some little boy. That's like Miles' age type kid.
I would say maybe like 11, 12. Maybe not 14. But still, that's younger. Nonetheless, I think that maybe she knew that he has a little bit of shady things going on, but wasn't aware of how violent that he could be. And like,
And his whole character is violent.
Yeah, and it's like, if you are willing to go ahead and beat up this like hero of the city, why, like, what would stop you from like beating up this kid?
Also,
from beating up me?
Why did his punch kill Peter but not Miles? Now that I'm thinking about it, he did the same thing
with that. See, when I saw that, I thought like he missed and hit
same
like the concrete or something.
He wouldn't miss on purpose, though.
No, he wouldn't miss on purpose. That is a good question.
Also, isn't Deadpool's girl named Vanessa? Is that just like a coincidence, or
does Deadpool become Kingpin? That's why he's so
strong. But is it like, is there some tie there? Maybe like maybe like Vanessa's like vigilantes or bad guys, like.
That's a good point.
Because Deadpool's Vanessa knows about Deadpool. And like when he stops being Deadpool, she's like, this isn't you.
Right. And it's like, yeah.
Lot to think about.
Yeah.
I also have something else. Hold on. Before we go into ratings, you want to rush me?
Oh, it's 11:11. Make a wish.
I wish I remember what I am doing. Oh, I did question though, because they don't play with multiverses a lot, like in Marvel. So I'm curious, is it just like it's literally just Spider-Man and Loki. Like, is it like a selective Spider-Man thing, or is it like a new thing? Because
maybe
Spider-Man's like comic wise.
Okay, hear me out. I think that it's because there's so many different versions of Spider-Mans. Like Spider-Man, I don't know, like there's just a variety of Spider-Man that we get that we don't get with other Marvel characters. Like Iron Man is Iron Man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I meant to start with this. I mean, comic wise.
Oh, okay, right.
Because I feel like Spider-Man is the only one that they experiment with different Spider-Mans.
Well, I think that there are definitely some timeline differences where like Iron Man's doing different things, like, you know, Hulk's doing different things, you know, there's that Red Hulk that, you know, exists. So with all of that,
well, like it's still like,
I feel like there's still just like not, I think that what it is mostly is that Marvel didn't own Spider-Man. So like it was in the hands of Sony, you know, they have,
even with comics?
Well, nonetheless, like Stan Lee sold the character. He sold the character to someone else. Yeah. Not just like the movie rights. Like the character was sold
to... Why would he do that?
Because he didn't think that it was going to be successful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I don't know. I think that with that, there was just all this free reign to try so many different things.
Yeah. I feel like this would be a good question though. Like if there was a different character you would write another comic about, like which one would it be?
Like for the
no,
creators,
like right
for us, like to give them like a whole bunch of variety, like how Spider-Man does.
Yeah,
I would. Who has the most interesting kind of Black story lore?
Because they kind of do it a little bit with Cap.
I was just about to say Captain America. It's in my mouth.
Whoa.
whoa. But no, yes, Captain America, or like honestly Iron Man would be pretty cool too, just because of like his knowledge and like what different routes that could have taken. Like he could have turned out to be a bad guy.
I feel like we get this with like the What If series.
Yeah. What about you? What character would you pick?
I don't know. I was thinking while you were
keep thinking and
while you were talking. I don't know. I don't know. Spider-Man's just so original and special. Like there's just no one else who could possibly like compare to that. Like that's just an insane question.
Well, we're not asking about comparisons.
I was buying myself time. I was stalling.
Spider-Man's so great.
You ever heard of stalling? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know whose story. I feel like I'm thinking about it too complicated because I'm like, I don't know whose story you could like change like that, but I feel like you could change all of them, I guess.
Yeah, don't try to be so logical about it.
Yeah. I feel like one of the women.
Yeah, I was also thinking about like Black Widow.
Yeah.
What her life could have given for her too. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Okay.
Bucky.
Word. That's valid.
Word.
No, for real. Okay.
That's all I got.
What do you rate her?
I always forget to do this beforehand because whenever you ask me this question, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll just give you my answer. Okay. 6 Infinity Stones.
Wow.
This is like the most perfect movie I've ever seen in my life. The animation is so beautiful. The soundtrack is so beautiful. Like, everything is so intentful and on purpose. And it's like, the storyline is great. They give you emotions. Like, for the culture, you know, it's just like so many different things to love about this movie. Hot take, what do you dislike about this movie? Let us know.
I personally
let us know.
I'm not like in love with it. I feel like I was so like this is amazing with the second one that like this one is like less than. Like I would rate the second one a 6. But I don't think they're on the same level.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I would rate the second one a 5.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the second one is the one that made Miles my favorite character.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I told you that one. We saw it together. Well, you saw it a second time with me. But like after like we left the theater, I was like, yep, like changing my mind. So yeah, I don't know. I like it's definitely a good movie when you think about everything that goes in behind it. Like the animation and like the writing and like the peekaboos and all that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I got more not emotional, but I got more reaction, I guess positive reaction out of Andrew's Spider-Man. So like I like his better than this one. So I can't rate it that high.
So you have to give it a 3.
What did I rate Andrew's?
I don't know, I feel like maybe like a 5.5 or something.
Okay. Whoa. I feel because when you think about the art that goes into the movie, that's like a 6 out of 6. But when you think about everything as a whole, I feel like I would give it like a 5 or like a 4.8.
We're just gonna do 5.
Yeah. No, I give it like a 4.8.
No, we're gonna do 5. Word. Okay, so I give it 6. She gives it 5.
My rating. That's insane. But yeah, now that we've watched all of them,
yes, all of the Spider-Mans,
all the first ones,
first Spider-Mans,
I would do Andrews, Miles, Tom, Toby.
I would do Miles, Andrew, Toby, Tom.
That's crazy.
Tom's first one kind of sucks. That's insane. Womp womp. Anyway, though, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you are on Spotify, please rate the podcast.
If you're not on Spotify, go to Spotify.
Please and thank you. We would really appreciate it. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Give us a like. Comment down below about what you would rate, you know, all the movies. How many stones? And then, like, what's your order? What order would you do for all these first Spider-Mans? The end of the season is coming up, guys.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. One more episode. Yeah. And we'll talk about that more later. So thanks for tuning in. Our socials are down below. And what else is down below?
Everything you need from us. So go check it out.
And everything you don't need from us is also down there.
You're welcome. Abundance. We love that. See you next time.